For today's project, we're going to be creating a really beautiful holiday ornament that you can hang on your own tree or you can give as a hostess gift. We're using this beautiful strand from Jessie James Beads. This is the Gingerbread Hollow strand. It's part of the holiday collection. It has beautiful greens and browns in it, and we are going to add some pops of maroon to it by incorporating some maroon colored satin ribbon. This is a 5/8 ribbon. You're also going to need the ring portion of a ball jar lid or any glass jar that has this kind of lid. Just pop out the flat surface. All you need is just the ring. You're going to need your hot glue gun. You're going to need some jute cord, some twine, or some rope in any size that you want. And you're also going to need some 22 gauge wire and your jewelry making tools. So let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is we want to cover this ring in our jute cord. And to get started with that, we just want to come to the inner portion of the ring here, and you just want to add a strip, a real thin strip of hot glue, and then you just want to lay the end of your jute cord or your rope or twine right into that glued section. Now you just want to wrap the outer portion going through the loop around all the way until you have covered the entire surface of the ring. Once you have covered the entire ring with your cord, you're ready to move on to the next step. You want to take about a 4 or 5 inch section of 22 gauge wire, and you just want to kind of coax this into a V shape or a U shape, just like this. Okay, and then you want to turn over your ring and you want to lay this on the inside of the ring, right in the bend of the wire so that the ends are sticking out. We're going to use this portion to create a wrapped loop so that we can hang some beads from it later, but first we need to make sure that this is secured on our ring. So we're also going to come in with our ribbon, and we're going to lay our ribbon across the wire and across the inside of that ring and glue that down to hold that piece of wire in place. Next, you want to go ahead and glue the ribbon all the way around the outer surface, just one time around your wreath, leaving your long section coming out towards the back. Take a second to go ahead and bring the ends of the wire together here in the middle just to kind of keep them out of the way. We're going to come back to this section in just a second, but first we need to create a hanger for our wreath, and we're going to do that with the long section of our ribbon. With your ribbon coming towards the back, you just want to take your ribbon and loop it around as so, just so that you've got about 3 or 4 inches of ribbon that is looped here. This is going to be where you can hang an ornament hanger or anything else that you want to hang this to something. So all you want to do is just take a strip of hot glue here right on the edge and fold your ribbon over and glue it down to create that loop. All right, we're not completely finished with the ribbon yet, but we're going to move on to the wire here in the center to get it shaped so that we can move on to the rest of the project. So what you want to do is you want to take your pieces of wire, make sure that they are crisscrossing each other. Inside, you want to come down as close to the surface of that ribbon as you possibly can, and then you want to take one of those pieces of wire and bend it up so that it is standing straight or coming out straight towards the inside of the ring. And then you very carefully want to take your other piece of the wire, the long section, and wrap it around the straight section once or twice, and then trim off whatever you don't need with your cutter tool. All right, now with the long section, we want to create a wrapped loop here. So we're going to treat this just like we would any other piece of jewelry. We're going to come in with our chain nose pliers, grabbing that wire right at the last wraps that we made and bend that wire 90 degrees. We're going to come in with our round nose pliers and create our wrapped loop. Now we have this great wrapped loop that's coming towards the center of our ring, and it's a great place to hang some of the beads from our Gingerbread Hollow bead strand, and that's exactly what we're going to do. But first, let's cover up the wire wrapping here in case it's not the prettiest in the world, and let's use some of our ribbon to create a bow and glue it right here over the top of the ribbon. You want to take about 6 inches of ribbon, and you just want to take 2 ends and fold them over to create that bow shape where you've got 2 openings on either end. It doesn't matter what your ends look like, we're going to cover those up, but you do want to go ahead and glue all this down using your hot glue in the center. Once you have the piece of ribbon glued together like this, you want to take a shorter piece of the ribbon and lay it across the center to make the center of our bow and glue it on the back. I like to keep my ends short, but you can leave some ribbon dangles if you want to. I like to just keep mine nice and short so that there's plenty of room to show off the beads. Once your bow is created, go ahead and glue your bow right to the edge of your wreath over the top of the ribbon that is already there. Okay. And now you just want to sit this to the side, and let's create some dangles with our beads. Now it's time to choose some beads to use for our wreath. I have picked 2 beautiful beads from this strand. I'm using one of the large boho beads and one of the large glass beads, as well as some bead caps. But any of the beads that you pick from the Gingerbread Hollow strand are going to be absolutely beautiful. They all work beautifully together. And don't forget, you can get this strand over on jessijamesbeads.com. So let's create a dangle using some of the beads that we're going to use. The first thing you want to do is you want to take about a 5 to 6 inch section of 22 gauge wire, and we're just going to create a knotted head pin. We're going to grab the end of that wire with our round nose pliers right at the very tip, and we're going to roll that wire around the tip of the pliers once and then a second time, and you want to stop right where you see where the wire is cut. Now you want to take the wire and bend it out this direction, take it off of the pliers, take the tail end of your wire and stick it back through the 2 loops that you created on the pliers. Now you want to come in with your nylon jaw pliers and grab the wire right next to the 2 loops that you made, and using a pair of pliers, grab the tail end of your wire and give it a pull. When you take it off of the tool, you've got a beautiful knot. It looks like a little rosette, perfect for stringing beads on. I'm going to thread on this large boho bead, one of the beautiful spacer beads that's on the strand, a bead cap, and one of the large glass beads. And now I want to create a wrapped loop at the top of these beads. Once you've finished your wrapped loop, connect both the wrapped loop on the inside of your wreath to the wrapped loop on the top of your bead section, and you have a beautiful beaded dangle that hangs from the center of your wreath. This is a perfect gift for your hostess or a wonderful Christmas ornament that you can hang on your own tree. You can use any of the bead combinations from the Gingerbread Hollow strand, and they would all look beautiful hanging from the center of your handmade wreath.